Hello, it's Monday. Back out again with 25.5 kilos in the backpack and some tips for getting into this rucking routine and motivating yourself or finding ways to get out and do this. Try and maintain your fitness, improve your fitness through rucking. I am clearly not the most fittest or athletic person out there. I'm not a personal trainer. I'm not winning any competitions in anything. Just a regular guy who's very busy, 3 children, a dog, a career. Really just someone who's, like many people, short on time, mid-30s, getting a bit older, or not wanting to give up and let my body go. I feel like a lot of people do let themselves go when they get to this stage of life, and when it's hard to maintain a good routine, or it's hard to keep up with the hobbies that we had when we were in our 20s and had all the time in the world. As you get to your mid-30s and you have a family to support and responsibilities, then fitness is something that people often let go of, and I have at times, and in the end that makes me unhappy. So I've tried to find ways to keep the dream alive, keep trying to work on myself and improve, because I want to feel good and look good, and I don't want to give up and feel bad. I would feel bad if I gave up. A lot of what's going on in life you can't control. I mean, you can control it, but some things, you can't give up. Like, I've got 3 kids, I've got a dog, I need to work, I've got a good job. It comes with stress, but I don't want to let go of that. I can't control these things, but there are things I can control. I can control my diet, I can control what I eat, and I can make use of the time I've got. So I am at home a couple of days a week, and if I am at home a couple of days a week, then I should use those days wisely. So I do these rucking sessions on my lunch break for an hour. I squeeze in 30-minute weight training sessions in the morning before work, and I do that consistently. Whenever I'm working from home, I try to do that as much as possible. And on the weekend, I try to stay active. If I'm not active in terms of, working on my house and doing all the labour and the DIY, all that kind of stuff, which keeps me very active. If I'm not doing that, then I'll make an effort to get out and go rucking, do something like that, or do a workout. Controlling what I can control, basically. If I can do something, then I will do it. I'm trying to stick to that. And when I can't, there's no point worrying or obsessing about the perfect routine, perfect workout routine or sport that I'd like to do. If it doesn't fit in my life at the moment, then we just have to let go of that and accept that we can't do things like that anymore. We're going to have to do what we can, but still do what we can. Don't give up on everything just because you can't do it the way you used to do it. You kind of have to let go of being a perfectionist for things. Once you decide that you are going to do the things you can do, now you have to volunteer yourself for some discomfort. Like, it's not easy to make a start and to get out there and put a heavy backpack on and get walking with it. It's not easy to get in the gym and pick up the weights If you're starting from scratch and you haven't got a good habit, you haven't built up resilience and discipline yet, it's hard to get started. Most people struggle when they feel the burn in their muscles, or they feel any form of discomfort or tiredness in their body. They just can't do it. But you have to kind of know that that's going to happen. You have to put yourself out there for it. You have to accept that you're going to have to go through some voluntary discomfort in order to progress and to force yourself to change mentally and physically. And one of the ways you can accept that discomfort is by negative visualization. So before you're about to do something, spend a little bit of time kind of going through it in your mind and imagining it in its worst form, everything going wrong, everything being difficult, everything being as hard as you could do. Kind of live it through your mind, feel it. And then when you actually come to do it, you'll often find that it wasn't actually as bad as you imagined. But I find by visualizing it being bad, running through it in your mind, you kind of prepare yourself without actually having to feel it. So you go through it mentally, and then you accept it mentally, and you make a conscious decision that you're going to do it, even though you know what it's going to be like, you've seen it. You get out there and you start doing it, and you often realize it's actually not as bad as you thought. And if it is as bad, well, you prepared yourself for it. I definitely use that whenever I'm about to make things more difficult, or if I'm feeling unmotivated for something, or if there's something putting me off doing it, like maybe it's raining outside, or maybe I didn't sleep well and I'm tired and I know the workout's going to be difficult. Negative visualization is something that I will go to just to get me out, get me going again. And then one other thing I find is, like, sometimes it can be disheartening if your results don't come quick enough, or you look in the mirror and you're not happy with what you see. You're not happy with your genetics, or your rate of progress, this kind of thing. And you kind of have to accept the way you are, the way you're born, your genes. Accept everything, accept the situation you're in terms of your lifestyle, where you are, what your history is. Just accept everything and move on from it. Like, you've got to start enjoying the journey that you're on, enjoying the process of improving, rather than focusing on where you are and where you want to be all the time, and the gap between those two places, because you're only going to get there one step at a time, and it can take a long time to get there. So you've got to kind of accept it, decide to do it anyway, because the best time to start is always now. Like, if you don't, and then you have those feelings of regret, I mean, you wouldn't be starting for no reason. Most likely you're not happy with the way things are going, the way you're living your life, and the position you're in. But you do have to accept that, and then also realize that the best time to do something about it is right now, because you're only going to get older, and time is limited. So what's done is done. What's behind you is gone. There's only the future. And if you want to be the kind of person you want to be in 5 years' time, there's no point starting in 2 years' time. You're better off starting now. And that's always going to be the case, even if you've messed up, even if you have tried and failed. Now's always the best time to try again. Once you're kind of on board with the journey and just taking it day by day, one step at a time, it's good to pause and reflect as you make decisions throughout your day. Like, every time you're about to eat, maybe think about it a little bit, or before you're about to exercise or work out, like take time to pause and reflect and think, is this good for me or not? And just by giving a little bit of attention to the things you're doing, allowing yourself some time to do those things, you can reset bad habits and bring in sort of new ways of doing things that eventually become your automatic habits. So for a while, in order to break those bad habits, I feel like you have to put a bit of mental effort in to focusing on things and not being too reactive to situations, just taking time to pause and think before you do things. And then as you're going through your transformation mentally and physically, really now you just want to focus on small bits of progression, like small wins, small changes, getting slightly stronger, slightly fitter, eating slightly better. Anything positive that you notice is something to celebrate and will give you motivation to keep going. It comes back to the whole not dwelling on the bigger picture all the time. You kind of need to have that in your mind, that person you want to be, but you're going to get there by doing the kinds of things that person does. And as you live that life, you're going to see small changes all the time, and you're going to gradually keep improving all the time. And you're going to have to just go with that shift to celebrating small wins. Maybe it's just keeping on track with your diet, or lifting a little bit more weight one day, or going for a slightly longer ruck, or upping the weight in the backpack. Things like that are all things that I really pay attention to now. And then definitely letting go of perfection, because as much as I try and follow this bit of advice I'm giving, there are times when it can get too much. There are times when you just forget. There are times when things happen and nothing aligns correctly, and you end up, falling off the wagon, eating something bad, skipping a workout, just not putting the right effort in. Sometimes you can go a whole week where you really just didn't train hard enough, didn't push yourself, felt demotivated, wondering what the point of it all is. And again, it's just about noticing when you're in that frame of mind, and then realizing that maybe it's time to stop and reflect for a bit again, review what's been going right, what's not been going right, why am I not able to stick to this anymore when I was, and then adapting, changing things up. Maybe there's room for improvement, or there's ways to make something fit better in your life. There's normally something you can do, and if there's something you can do, it comes back to that point of control. Do what you can control, and if you can't control it, then accept it and move on. But if you can do something about it, and normally you can, make a little bit of effort to review and find that thing that you could be doing, and then get back on track again. That's it for today. I wanted to get out some of the mindset tips that help me stick with this little routine of rucking that I've got, and it's really is working for me. It's slow progress, but there is always progress, and it's working for me. I think it could work for a lot of other people too. If you haven't tried rucking, then I would recommend it. It's a great way of getting cardio and strength training done at the same time, getting outside in nature, and just enjoying a walk really, but with a bit of extra weight, increasing the resistance for you. And I don't know, it just seems to combine really well with weightlifting for me. it just fits into my life.